It has been 2 long years since the tragic passing of Bimbo Ogbonna, the wife of Ikechukwu Ogbonna, also known as IVD. Bimbo, who succumbed to severe burns after an altercation with her husband on October 12, 2022 at their Lekki residence, is still awaiting justice. Despite a flood of evidence pointing to her husband's involvement in her death, justice has yet to be served, prolonging her family's suffering and leaving many Nigerians disheartened. Bimbo's story has become emblematic of the struggles faced by survivors of domestic violence. In 2020, her brave expose of the abuse she endured for 19 years caught the nation's attention. Her candid revelations sparked public outrage and calls for action. A brief period of reconciliation between the couple, captured in a widely circulated video, gave many hope that change was on the horizon. But tragically, the cycle of violence continued, leading to that fateful day when Bimbo was reportedly beaten by her husband before attempting to escape by setting their home on fire. Despite the clear evidence, the case has been mired in delays, further fueling anger over the culture of impunity surrounding domestic violence in Nigeria. Advocacy groups, women's rights organizations, and concerned citizens have called for the immediate prosecution and conviction of IVD. They demand that his case no longer be delayed and insist on broader reforms to tackle domestic violence. Bimbo Ogbonna's death has not only brought attention to the often dismissed issue of domestic abuse, but has also become a rallying cry for greater legal protections and enforcement of laws for survivors and victims of domestic violence. In light of this tragic anniversary, several demands have been raised, including the swift prosecution and conviction of Ikechukwu Ogbonna IVD for his role in Bimbo's death, the strengthening of domestic violence laws and their enforcement to prevent such tragedies from recurring, and increased support systems for survivors of domestic violence and the families of victims, ensuring that they have the resources they need to recover and seek justice. Advocacy groups such as Tonia Bruised But Not Broken Foundation, Stop the Abuse Against Women and Children Foundation, Bimbo Dukoya Foundation, Center Against Injustice and Domestic Violence, and Women Arise remain committed to standing in solidarity with victims like Bimbo, while the Lagos State Domestic Violence Response Agency provides crucial support to survivors seeking justice.
Today was supposed to be the hearing for the case of the state against Ikechukwu Ogbonna. And unfortunately, the court did not sit. And okay, all right. And unfortunately, the court did not sit. So, but we are here because we are concerned citizens. We are here because this is with the growing space of femicide all over the world. This is one of the very cases that should, have a speedy conclusion and prosecution to serve as deterrent um, to others. But unfortunately, the court did not sit. Now, this is the press statement delivered today, the 24th of September 2024. And justice delayed. 2 years of unrelenting quest for justice for Bimbo Ogbonna. We woke up on the morning of September 22, 2022 to hear about the tragic death of Bimbo Ogbonna. We remember this tragic loss of Bimbo Ogbonna, wife of Ikechukwu Ogbonna, IVD, popularly known as IVD, who succumbed to severe burns inflicted allegedly by her husband on October 12, 2022 at their Lekki residence. Despite overwhelming evidence, justice remains elusive 2 years after. Bimbo's courageous fight against domestic violence inspired many. Her 2020 expose detailing 19 years of domestic abuse sparked national outrage. The subsequent reconciliation video raised hopes for change, but sadly the cycle of violence continued, which is a very key characteristics of domestic violence because most of the abusers hardly change. We condemn the lingering delay in bringing IVD to justice, perpetuating the culture of impunity, femicide, killings surrounding domestic violence. We therefore demand swift prosecution and conviction of IVD. We demand strengthen domestic violence laws and enforcement. We have beautiful laws, but we do not have enforcement. We also demand increased support for survivors and victims' family. Bimbo is dead, but her memory lives on. Through our unwavering pursuit for justice, Bimbo is gone. But Bimbo lives, still lives in the lives of many women, many people who are still undergoing domestic violence as we speak right now.
Actually, he was arraigned, the cooperation of all the NGOs and the ministry, everybody got involved. He was arraigned, and so far the prosecution has called over 5 witnesses, and it's actually the turn of the defendant to open their case. I'm also surprised, just like you and every other person who are interested in the crusade against domestic violence, the undue delay of this matter. But that is not to say that as a lawyer who is involved in the matter, I should not be seen making press statement over this case. But since every one of you are interested, not because of Bimbo and Ogbonna, but because of every other person who are interested in the issue of domestic violence, I'm sure that is why, this outlook. All we are interested is that the case be given accelerated hearing. We do not want to make statement that will prejudge a case that is pending before the court, because that is the pending order before the court. But that does not mean that we are not interested in that the case be given accelerated